Hello, welcome to Levant TV headlines. The Islamic State group has killed at least 500 people, both civilians and Iraqi soldiers, and forced 8,000 to flee their homes as it captured the city of Ramadi. Iran's defense minister Hossein Daghan has arrived in Baghdad for talks with his counterpart Khalid al-Ubaidi, a day after the Iraqi government suffered one of its worst losses with the fall of Ramadi to jihadists. Airstrikes by Saudi-led forces hit Houthi rebel positions in and around the southern Yemeni city of Aden overnight, residents said, after a 5-day humanitarian truce expired yesterday. A BBC journalist was apparently jailed for 2 nights in Qatar for taking photographs and attempting to gather information on the conditions of migrant workers in the country ahead of the 2022 World Cup finals. And the mayor of the 10th Jordanian tribal city of Man says hundreds of residents took to the street to celebrate the resignation of the country's interior minister Hossein Majali over what they consider heavy-handed tactics by the security forces. And now let's have a look at the Middle East headlines in papers there. Starting from the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that a UN envoy has called for an extension of a 5-day humanitarian ceasefire in Yemen, which expired yesterday as the Houthi rebels boycotted political talks in Riyadh. The paper also reports that a bus with pilgrims returning from Saudi Arabia overturned, leaving 3 people dead and 56 injured on the Abu Dhabi-Ghuwaifat highway. From Beirut, the Daily Star leads reporting that a Free Patriotic Movement delegation began a number of scheduled talks with Lebanese officials with a visit to the Maronite Patriarch Bashar al-Rai to promote party leader Michel Aoun's initiative to end the presidential vacuum. The paper also reports that Ali Akbar Vilayati, an advisor to Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei, says the advancements of the Syrian army and Hezbollah in the Kalamoun battles help empower the axis of resistance in the world. Also from the Middle East, the Egypt Independent leads reporting that the Cairo Criminal Court has ordered freezing the assets of former Petroleum Minister Sameh Fahmy and fugitive energy tycoon Hossein Salem over corruption investigations involving both. The paper also reports that the Journalist Syndicate Committee on Arab and Foreign Affairs will hold a symposium called Nakba is Ongoing on Wednesday in commemoration of the 67th Palestinian Nakba Day. And now let's have a look at papers here in London. The Guardian leads Middle East News section reporting that the British government is expected to offer to supply drones and intelligence gathering equipment and to set up a military headquarters to combat people smugglers operating in Libya. The British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond and the Defence Secretary Michael Fallon are expected to tell their EU counterparts at a meeting in Brussels today that Britain is prepared to take the lead in operations in the Mediterranean. The Telegraph leads reporting that Saudi-led coalition airstrikes targeting Shia rebels have resumed in Yemen's southern port city of Aden after the end of a 5-day humanitarian ceasefire. The ceasefire hadn't halted all fighting in Yemen between the Shia rebels known as Houthis and those opposing them. Also from London, the Independent leads reporting that Saudi Arabia intends to buy an off-the-shelf nuclear weapon from Pakistan, according to a US official. The report comes amid ongoing negotiations between Iran and other world powers over its nuclear program and a potential thawing of relations between the US and Iran. And now some international papers. In the International New York Times, a report that the last Iraqi security forces fled Ramadi on Sunday as the city fell completely to the militants of the Islamic State, who ransacked the provincial military headquarters, seizing a large store of weapons and killed people loyal to the government. And finally, China's Global Times reports that the Yemeni foreign minister has blamed violations by Houthi rebels for an end to a 5-day ceasefire in Yemen. Riyad Yassin denied any ongoing negotiations to renew the ceasefire in the conflict-torn country and said that the coming airstrike by a Saudi-led coalition against the Houthis will avoid airports and main ports to allow the entry of humanitarian aid to Yemenis. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again, and bye for now.